Hello, children. It's Jenny here. Those of you at that special school in Kerikeri in the Bay of Islands in New Zealand, I hope will remember me. I used to come in once a week and read to you. And now it's a little bit of a different time in our country. I'm sure you're loving it though, because your mums and dads and others who look after you are all at home with you. And there are different things to do every day. And now some of your older brothers and sisters have started back with some schoolwork, and I thought you might like a story. So one of my favourites since I've been a young girl, or when I was a young girl, was Winnie the Pooh. And I've got a very special bear here with me to help me tell this story. And I thought that you might like to go and get your bear and have your bear with you while we read the story. So I'm just going to read with my Kindle because I don't, unfortunately, have a storybook, but I'm going to try and stay engaged with you. So one day when he was out walking, Pooh came to an open place in the middle of the forest. And in the middle of this place was a large oak tree. And from the top of the tree there came a loud buzzing sound. Can you make a buzzing sound? Buzz! Winnie the Pooh sat down at the foot of the tree, put his head between his paws, and he began to think. So can you put your head between your hands and try to think? First of all, he said to himself, that buzzing noise means something. You don't get a buzzing noise like that, just buzzing and buzzing without its meaning something. If there's a buzzing noise, somebody's making a buzzing noise. And the only reason for making a buzzing noise that I know is because you are a... And of course you got it right, because you are a bee. Then he thought another long time and said, and the only reason for being a bee that I know of is for making, and I know the word you said was honey. And then he got up and said, and the only reason for making honey is so I, and that's bear, can eat it. So he began to climb the tree. Can you see how big this tree is? And this little bear called Winnie, or maybe your little bear, is going to climb this. He climbed and he climbed and he climbed. And as he climbed, he sang a little song to himself. And it went like this. Isn't it funny how a bear likes honey? Buzz, 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 I wonder why he does. Thank you, little bear, for singing that song. Then he climbed a little higher, and then just a little higher still. And by that time, he'd thought of another song. It's a very funny thought that if bears were bees, they'd build their nests at the bottom of trees. And that being so, if the bees were bears, we shouldn't have to climb up all these stairs. He was getting rather tired by this time, so we'll lie him down and give him a little nap. And so that's why he sang a complaining song. He was nearly at the top though. And if he just stood on that next branch and crack, oh, and help, and Pooh just came tumbling down and he dropped 10 feet onto the branch below him. And here's a picture of Winnie the Pooh dropping. If only I hadn't, he said as he bounced 20 feet onto the next branch. You see, what I meant to do, he explained, as he turned head over heels and over heels and head over heels again as he tumbled down. What I meant to do, of course, he said, as he slithered very quickly through the next 6 branches, well, it all comes, I suppose, he decided, as he said goodbye to the last branch, spun around 3 times. Let me see if we can. That's 1, 2, and can you spin your bear too? And 3 times, and flew gracefully into a gorse bush. Oh dear, he said, it all comes of liking honey so much. Oh, help! So he crawled out of the gorse bush, brushed the prickles from his nose, and began to think again. And the first person he thought of was, and if you know this story, you know the little boy's name. He had 2 names. His first name was Christopher, and his second name was Robin. So Winnie the Pooh went round to his friend Christopher Robin, who lived behind a green door in another part of the forest. "Good morning, Christopher Robin," he said. "Good morning, Winnie the Pooh," said Hugh. "Well, I wonder if you've got such a thing as a balloon about you." "A balloon?" "Yes, I just said to myself coming along, I wonder if Christopher Robin has such a thing as a balloon about him. I just said to myself, thinking of balloons and wondering." "What do you want a balloon for?" Christopher Robin said. Winnie the Pooh looked around to make sure nobody else was listening, and then he put his paw to his mouth and he said in a big, deep voice, "Honey." "But you don't get honey with balloons," said Christopher Robin. "I do," said Pooh. Well, it just happened that Christopher Robin had been to a party the day before at the house of their friend Piglet, and there were balloons at the party. So look, here's Christopher Robin with a balloon. "You had a big green balloon, and one of Rabbit's relations had a big blue one, and he'd left it behind, being really too young to go to a party at all. And so Christopher Robin had brought the green one and the blue one home with him." "Which one would you like?" he asked Pooh. Pooh put his head between his paws and he thought very carefully. "Well, it's like this," he said. "When you go after honey with a balloon, the great thing is not to let the bees know you're coming. Now, if you have a green balloon, they might think you were part of the tree and they wouldn't notice you. And if you have a blue balloon, they might think you were part of the, and I know you know the word, part of the sky, and not notice you. And the question is, which is most likely?" "Wouldn't they notice you underneath the balloon?" asked Christopher Robin. "They might, or they might not," said Winnie the Pooh. "You never can tell with bees." And we're going to leave it there and come back again tomorrow. So children, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope that your bear has enjoyed this or whatever other toy you were cuddling. And I know that you are being a very good little girl or a good little boy for all those wonderful people who look after you, and that maybe they'll let you come back and we'll continue the story about going up a tree as a bear looking for honey with a balloon. Bye-bye for now.